All right, moving on to example 2, we're now going to solve quadratics with only one solution. So again, it asks me to solve x squared minus 8x equals negative 16 by graphing. I'm going to show the graphing in the first example, but again, I think it's easiest to just factor and find the solutions without graphing because graphing can be time consuming. So the first step, I do need to add 16 to both sides, and by doing that, my equation is now in standard form. You always want it to be equal to 0, so I have x squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. Alright, so hopefully you recognized and picked up that we had the difference of two squares pattern. So to factor that expression, I just have the quantity x minus 4 squared is equal to 0. And this is kind of where we see the difference between when we have one solution versus two solutions, which was our first example. So since I only have one quantity being squared, there's only one solution, and that solution is x equals 4. So again, right here, this could be the end of solving that problem. However, I will just go ahead and show what that graph looks like. I know that the x-intercept will be positive 4, so I've gone ahead and drawn the x-intercept there. And then from there, I went ahead and drew a normal parabola. I knew it would be the U shape because that A term, x squared, is positive, so it was going to open up, and there was no vertical stretch or shrink, so it was just a normal parabola. Again, the graph is not necessarily needed. You know what the solution is just by factoring the expression from that beginning work that I showed. So here are your 3 monitoring progress problems for you to try on your own. Again, totally optional. If you would like to draw a graph, you may, but it is totally fine to just factor and find the solutions just like I did in the example. Alright, so for number 4, all of my work is there, but I will go ahead and walk you through the steps. First thing I needed to do was get the equation in standard form, so I subtracted 12x from both sides, and that left me with x squared minus 12x plus 36 is equal to 0. From there, I noticed that it was a special square difference pattern. So to factor the expression, I had the quantity x minus 6 squared is equal to 0. And then right away I knew there was only one solution. X is equal to 6, so that was the answer. Alright, for number 5, all of the work is shown. It was already written in standard form. It just didn't have that C term, which is okay. But I do want to start by factoring the equation. So I've noticed that both terms had x in common. So I factored out x, and I was left with x multiplied by the quantity of x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now, this one did have two solutions. X could be 0 or x could be negative 4 to make that equation true. Alright, and then for our last problem, number 6, my first step was to rewrite it in standard form. So I did that by adding 25 to both sides, which gave me x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 0. I then factored, so I was left with the quantity of x plus 5 squared is equal to 0. And I knew that there would be only one solution, and that solution is x is equal to negative 5.